The summer after my senior year of college at Borromeo Seminary, one of my best friends from childhood, he and his high school sweetheart, they were getting married. And he invited me to be one of his groomsmen in the wedding. And it was the first and actually only wedding I got to be a groomsman in. And it was an awesome experience. A lot of fun, so much fun. A great man and a great woman who were just really well prepared. What I wasn't prepared for was what happened in my heart at the reception. All the normal things happened, the cake cutting, the father-daughter dance, the mother-son dance, all of those things happened. And then it came time for their first dance. And my buddy, big, strong guy, he is led out on the dance floor by his now wife, and she's a little thing, and he starts crying. Andrew Peterson's song, Dancing the Minefield, started playing, and it was so beautiful. And she's just wiping the tears from his eyes. And I remember watching this. You know, I'm in the seminary now, and I'm thinking, I'm heading off to graduate school, going to be doing theology studies, a few more years towards priesthood. And all of a sudden, watching this door got kicked down in my heart. And this longing, this deep longing, arose from the depths that said, I want to be espoused. Like, I want this. Like, what I'm looking at right now, I long for this, to have another. And I was suddenly aware of the fact that here I am in the seminary, and if I get ordained, I'll never have this. And this fear bubbled up. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone. I stayed in the seminary and wrestled. I wrestled with this question. I wrestled with this fear of loneliness. And to be totally honest and transparent, it seemed like every semester over the next few years, there was somebody that my heart would fall in love with. There was some girl who would show up in the world and oh, maybe this is my wife. And I would talk to my spiritual director. I would talk to my formation advisor. I was totally honest and totally transparent about it. And they would always say to me, take this to the Lord. Take it to the Lord. And I would. And every time I did, I would wrestle again with this, and I would bring it to Jesus. And every time it felt like the Lord would say, Patrick, this is good. This is good. Like, you have a heart that is a gift. You're recognizing that you are meant to be given away as a gift. That was what the Lord was saying. He was drawing me deeper and deeper. Like, what I would discern, what I would see through spiritual direction, through prayer, through formation, advising, what I would begin to see is that deeper than all of these surface loves, there was this deeper love that I couldn't deny. It was there. It was there. Like, I was being formed by the Lord to be a gift, not just for an individual person, but I was being formed by the Lord to be a gift, broadly speaking, as a priest. Not just to a single wife or to a family, but to a multitude, right? A sort of Abrahamic identity, father of many. I think when I look at the guys who are in the seminary now, guys who are wrestling with this stuff, I think there are not a few of them who are looking ahead down the road, sensing the Lord stirring in them this call to discernment. I think a lot of them look ahead and feel that same fear that I felt. This is going to be a life of loneliness. This is going to be a life of solitude. I want to speak to that. Are there priests who would say that they're lonely? Absolutely. Absolutely there are. But here's the thing. I've been a priest long enough. I've heard enough confessions, and I've walked with enough couples, married people, to know that there are plenty of married people who are very lonely in their marriages. Matrimony is not a cure for loneliness any more than priesthood is a condemnation to a life of loneliness or a life of solitude. And let's be clear about this. Like, there is an essential loneliness in the human experience because we carry in our hearts this infinite depth that no human being has the capacity to completely plumb the depths of. No spouse can be perfectly known by another. I don't care if you've been married 10 years, 20 years, 70 years. There's still a remainder. There's still more to know. There's still more to be discovered. Like, we carry within us an essential loneliness. This is part of how we are constructed, that God leaves this space in us that only He can fill, right? St. Augustine, you have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you. Or Psalm 139, right? Lord, you search me and you know me. You search me and you know me. You know the depths of my heart. No vocation is an answer to loneliness. The Lord is the answer to loneliness. He's the answer to the human experience of being alone, both in marriage and in priesthood. But let me say this about what I experienced, though, as a priest. Like, what we all desire most deeply is intimacy, deep connection with other people. In the priesthood of Jesus Christ, you are invited to experience the most incredible, profound intimacy with other people. Like an intimacy that no married man, or woman for that matter, would ever or could ever experience. And it's because you are a priest, you get to experience this kind of intimacy. Because you are a priest, you are given access. You are invited into the most tender parts of people's hearts and lives. You're invited into the depths of the most incredible experiences that people have. Their hopes, their dreams, their fears. Like what one person experiences once or twice throughout the course of their life, the priest experiences over and over and over again with people. We get invited into the depths. We live with hearts that are full of so many names and so many faces. Are there days and are there times where the sting of celibacy is real? Yes, it's real. It's true. I'm not going to lie. Walking into the rectory after a long day and your humanity cries out for connection and consolation. Yes, there are those days. It's true. And so what do you do as a priest? You burn quietly before the Lord in the dark, like one of those votive candles. You go and you sit in the chapel. You sit in His presence. The Lord who called you to be His intimate companion, His friend. And sometimes you weep because you often are so misunderstood. Sometimes you sigh and you just wonder in like wordless amazement and prayer that the Lord has called you to this. Because you know what you're made of. Yet the Lord Jesus has called you to this. You who are a broken earthen vessel. You get to be an instrument of grace to so many people. You get to be the earthen vessel that holds the treasure. You get to be poured out for the multitudes. You get to be Jesus. Priesthood is not a condemnation to a life of loneliness. It's a life at the depths. Duc in altum, put out into the deep, he says. It's an invitation into the depths of His heart and in the depths of other people's hearts. It's an invitation to a life of profound intimacy. And that's what we're all looking for. That's what we're all looking for.